أهلا وسهلا بجميع الحضور.
Welcome to all of the participants. We apologize for this 5-minute delay. We have guests from all around the world who are joining us now. We have interpretation into English and into Arabic. So if you wish to receive interpretation into English, please click to choose English. If you wish to listen to interpretation into Arabic, please check Arabic. We have also interpretation into sign language on the occasion of the International Day of the Deaf and Dumb. And we hope this is our first virtual investigative conference during which the proceedings were translated into sign language as well. We wish to thank our technical support. They have a tough time trying to admit all of the participants who wish to share this closing ceremony. They made us very happy through their participation in the past 3 days. Good evening to you all. I'm seeing all the names. I see Farouk and Ahmed. They haven't missed any of the activities. So Rawan is welcoming the participants. And they also shared the entertainment night yesterday with Sami Aish. In order not to be late and to try to abide by the time of the ceremony, in the name of Allah, the Merciful, the Compassionate. Good evening. My name is Rawan Ad-Damin. I'm Director General of ARIJ, Arab Reporters for Investigative Journalism. I'm very happy that we are now in our closing ceremony to announce the awards of ARIJ's 13th annual conference, the First Digital Forum. Your beautiful words, with your participation, we were able to broadcast 50 live events since the 13th of November to date. In the past 3 days, we had about 8 daily hours of activities for networking, and they were all broadcast live. Our esteemed guests who were generous to share their time and experience with us, included over 160 guests from 40 countries around the world, half of whom were women. They shared their experiences and talked to over 3,400 journalists from 70 countries in the world. And this proves that the slogan of the forum this year is to connect the world was actually put into use, and that in spite of the pandemic and all of the political and economic circumstances that is targeting media and journalism in general and investigative journalism in particular, we will not stop our support to each other, because this exchange of support is what helps us sustain our work. We are delighted to have the ambassador of the Kingdom of the Netherlands to Jordan, Ms. Barbara Josias. She is sharing our ceremony today, and it is probably her last official intervention before she leaves Jordan to her next diplomatic mission. She has been a great support to the freedom of press, to independent journalism in Jordan since she arrived to this post. She believed in the projects in which ARIJ was part. We are thrilled that you're sharing the ceremony with us, but we are saddened that you will be leaving Jordan. We hope that the pandemic will be over so that we will be visiting you wherever your next mission is. Please, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Rawan, and well, good evening. It's great to meet you all. The Director General of ARIJ, Rawan Ad-Damin, she has asked me to say some words from my heart. And I have to say, I find it very difficult not to speak from my heart. And especially in this case, it's very easy. I believe in you as investigative journalists. I think investigative journalism is so important to lay the foundations for transparency. And from transparency, facts, analysis, you can move very far. You can make new policies, you can find solutions. This year for me is very special, even more special than the other 4 years that I attended. It is because it's the biggest Arish forum that came into being up till now. I realized more than 3,000 journalists. And then I was wondering, oh, I should have warned my spokesperson, because now I can make a lot of mistakes and they can be spread all over the world by 3,000 journalists. So I better not make any mistakes this evening. Yes, let us not forget on the 10th of December, it's also International Human Rights Day. So I think we need to celebrate that too. We talk about building back better when we talk about COVID-19 and what will happen after COVID-19. But of course, to be able to build back better, we need to know how the situation is now. What are the facts? What is the analysis? And then again, investigative journalism, transparency can help us building the way back better, also in the fields of human rights. For those of you who are not aware, this conference or this forum also takes place in the margins of the World Press Freedom Conference that the Netherlands is co-hosting this year together with UNESCO. Something special again. And then, of course, I think Rawan Damen already mentioned it. This is my last official public event. And it's indeed sad to leave Jordan. It's sad to leave the Arab world. I hope to come back soon because I'm going to miss it too much. I'm proud that this is my last public event because I feel that for us human rights as a government, especially freedom of expression, is so important for us as a government and for me as a person that it is a very good opportunity that this is my last public event. I'll become a member of the Court of Audit in the Netherlands. So next position is also a lot of transparency and accountability there, I hope. I'm now standing in between all of you and the award ceremony of Arish 2020 Forum. And there's so many awards. I saw there's the, of course, the every year Arab Best Investigative Journalism Award. There's the Ayoun Award, Hibber Award, CFI Health Award. So there's a lot to be done, and a lot to celebrate. And I would like to salute all those journalists who put in their dedication to make these excellent reports and who continue doing very serious work throughout the year during difficult times. There's another special moment for me because I would like to do an announcement here, Rawan. I think it could be an opportunity for all of you who are listening because I can announce with Arish for the next 3 years a new partnership, and it is called 100 Watts. And to be honest, I forgot to ask what the 100 Watts stand for, but I know it stands for a training for 100 journalists, Arab journalists. It's like an incubator, training journalists, bringing them closer to, let's say, the foundations of investigative journalists. And there will also be 30, how do you call it, fellowships to be won at the end. So it's an announcement next 3 years. So please, all those who are watching, you have graduates, new people, young. I feel this is the gateway. This is the gateway for the region to professional investigative journalism. And it's an honor to do that together with Arish. Again, it's all about transparency. It's about giving chances to young people to also experience this. So let's move into a new generation of journalists. It will be a big honor for me to announce this. So you can consider this the launch of this new 3-year partnership with you, Arish. Thank you again. And I wish you a very successful event. Thank you, Rawan.
شكرا جزيلا فعلا هذا.
Thank you very much for this official announcement of this 100 Watt, which involves Jordanians and residents of Jordan. It will span 3 years 100 South, it's 100 voices. It's 100 people who will join the investigative network of Arish, and we are delighted to launch this project in cooperation with the Embassy of the Netherlands. We believe that in your new position, Madam Ambassador, will also promote the freedom of expression and access to information, and we are confident that there will be cooperation between the two tribes of the Mediterranean, but we wish that you can visit us in many other Arab countries, which you know very well. The Arab countries will keep loving you the way you love them. The example here is that we have a figure who is half Dutch, half Lebanese, half Arab, and half European. She is a writer, analyst, and journalist, a prominent one. She's loved by all her readers in English, whether it be her essays, analysis, or articles. We are proud she is member of Arish's board. Kim Ghattas, you have the floor. She'll be addressing us from Beirut.
Good evening, everybody. Goedenavond van Beirut for the Dutch ambassador. I am indeed half Dutch, half Lebanese, very proud of both my countries, and truly delighted to speak to you from Beirut this evening. Thank you, Rawan, for asking me to speak at this closing and awards ceremony for what has really been an incredibly successful and very well attended online forum. I've followed some of the sessions. I couldn't attend all of them, but it's really heartwarming to see how many journalists from across the region attended from so many countries. I've only been on the board of directors of Arish since this summer, but I'm already in awe of the work that Arish does and has done. And I'm so proud of this virtual forum. It's been quite the challenge for everyone around the world to adapt to the virtual world, to the virtual reality. And it's something that Arish has done incredibly well. This instant switch, how do you do it? And it's been done incredibly well. And it's been, despite the limitations that the pandemic has imposed on us, it's also been an opportunity to reach out more and more journalists across this region to go beyond and get past some of the difficulties in travel that we face in this region, to reach out to journalists in countries like Libya, in places like Gaza, Yemen, who found it hard to travel for many reasons, including actual logistics. So we owe it to journalists everywhere and our fellow regions, our past trainees and journalists who've attended past forums or trainings and who continue to do excellent work around the region, to do this and to do our best to make it possible for them to continue to get these trainings and to attend a forum like this one. And the proof that we were on the right track and that it's worth all the effort that Rawan and her incredible team have put into this is that so many of you showed up in such large numbers. As I said, I've only been on the board of directors of Arish since this summer. I was a journalist for 20 years, covering the region from Beirut to Damascus, from Baghdad to Riyadh. I've now moved on to write books and commentary, but journalism remains my passion. And I really wanted to contribute and pay back and help new generations of journalists rise. And so I'm honored to be on the board of directors. When I was doing my work as a journalist 20 years ago, not to date myself too much, as a young reporter, first locally for the Daily Star, the English language newspaper in Beirut, and then for international news organizations, investigative journalism, investigative reporting was not a really well-known concept at the time. And it's really to the credit of Arij and its founder, past executive editor Rana Sabah, and today Rawan Damen, that they've made this such a centerpiece of journalism in the region and trained and reached out to so many journalists who in their turn have had such an impact with the work that they do. I truly believe that journalism and investigative journalism have never been more important in the world, but especially in our region. The power of storytelling, the power of telling human stories remains one of the most important endeavor that I think a journalist can undertake. To be able to tell the stories of migrant workers, domestic workers, of women abused, of refugees, of students suffering through schooling because of the pandemic. The stories around this region must be told. Some of them are terribly sad, some of them are positive, and we should focus on them as well. In this era of disinformation, facts are essential, and you get to facts with investigative journalism, with investigative reporting. In this era of change and of uprisings across this region, holding power accountable, providing facts, and digging for the truth is an essential task, and one that we must continue to nurture and help and assist with more training and more support and hopefully more funding. And thank you to the Netherlands for this support that it's providing. And thank you to all our funders who understand the importance of what Arij is doing and understand the importance of what journalists across this region are doing. I want to pay tribute to all of you journalists who are attending, who have attended trainings, who have published investigative work, who are working on investigations now. You do this in very difficult conditions, from Gaza to Yemen, from Iraq to Lebanon, from Egypt to Syria. And hopefully the virtual world has opened opportunities for us to give you continued support in your endeavors. Some of you will get awards this evening, but all of you deserve to be recognized for the important, essential work that you do. You actually do change the course of some people's lives. You do have an impact on policies. You do have an impact on your countries, on the public, and you are able to affect change, which is, after all, what investigative journalism is partly about. I want to end by saying a few words about someone very dear to me, Yasmin Dabbous. For 10 years, Yasmin was on the board of directors of Arij, and then she was the chairwoman. I know Yasmin from our days as journalists at the Daily Star many years ago. I won't tell you how many. We lost touch for a while, and then earlier this year, she found me and got in touch to ask me if I wanted to join the organization. It didn't take a lot of convincing, at least I don't think so, except for the fact that it meant that as I was coming on board, she was unfortunately going to leave us. Yasmin's work and contribution to Arij has been invaluable over the last 10 years, and I want to pay tribute to her and her work and her contributions. We miss you, Yasmin. Thank you for all that you've done for Arij and for investigative journalism. The floor is now yours to say a few words as well.
شكرا كثير.
Thank you very much, Kim. Thank you to you all, and good evening to you all. It is so beautiful to meet the people you love again, the people you respect again, to meet the people whose work you respect for better journalism and for better society in our Arab world. I left Arij 6 months ago. I left my position as the chair of the board, but in fact, you never leave Arij. Up till now, when I speak of Arij, I still speak in the first pronoun. When I see any of Arij's achievements on Facebook, I felt that I'm the one who made the report. Up till now, from here and there, I check on the organization. In fact, I anything that is related to journalism in the past 5 years. I left my position as a teaching professor at the Arab American University in Lebanon in 2016. I had intended not to work in journalism and to focus on my work in arts, especially embroidery and making pendants. To me, it was a more beautiful and probably a more convenient way to tell my stories and the stories of other people. But it took me 4 years to resign my position from Arish. It's a difficult choice because Arish is not only a journalist organization, it is a power of change and a hope for a better future in our disastered world. But I am happy and comfortable that Arish is in good hands. The chair of the board, Mohamed Shbaru, the new members of the board and the still sitting on the board, and the executive director, Rawan Damen, and finally, Arish's crew and its journalists and trainers around the Arab world. Thank you all for completing the mission. May you be blessed and hope to see you again.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Yasmeen Dabbous. This was a conspiracy with Dr. Khalid Nasser, and he succeeded to deliver a small gift from Arish to you to tell you that our love to you will remain. So this is an artistic piece. I hope you enjoy it and you can keep it at your home. This is a gift from Arish's group. Thank you, Dr. Khalid Nasser, because he's one of Arish's trainers, and we're proud of his contribution to our work. Thank you for supporting us in this small conspiracy, because it's difficult to make a conspiracy against Yasmeen. We succeeded with difficulty, but it happened. I didn't feel anything at all, she says. Dr. Khalid is an investigative journalist as well. Thank you very much for beautiful words. And Dr. Yasmeen paid a tribute to the executive director, Susan Tatar, and the founder of Arish, our dear friend Rana Sabah, whose efforts actually produced the very roots of Arish. We have a guest from Brazil, a guest with the slogan of the forum this year is Connect the World. He is a dear friend for all human rights defenders in the world. Before we listen to our guest, we have a small surprise to him. We will give him the surprise. It will be difficult to take it to where he is, but we will display it. It's a 2-minute surprise.
هذا الإبداع هو إبداع لرسام الكاريكاتير.
Excellence is an excellence of the caricature political caricature artist Carlos Latouf from Lebanese origins to express. Maybe we or journalists, we need thousands of words just to express what we have in mind. You just expressed it in one drawing, and you have one about Palestine, the other is about Syria, and it's about expression, opinion, and human rights expression, and it had costed him a lot. Carlos Latouf did not hesitate when we sent him the invitation to be with us. The floor is yours, Mr. Carlos.
Well. I'm so touched by this gift. Thank you very much for your kindness making this presentation of many of my cartoons. Hawan, thank you very much for the invitation. The Arish invitation. I'm so glad to have here among so many important people from all around the Arab world, investigative journalists. Well, it's an event for journalists, but and we all know to be a journalist, especially investigative journalist now in the world, is a risk task, a risk job. But I would like to highlight something very important to kind of journalism, the political cartoon, because the political cartoonist is also a kind of a journalism. And no doubt to be a cartoonist, a political cartoonist in Middle East and in places, in so-called democracies, is a very dangerous job too. Let's take, for example, my own case now. I spent the past 10, 20 years drawing about the police brutality in Brazil. And I got many threats, including death threats, do my cartoons. And now, while I'm talking to you now, my home address was leaked by some cops, by police, some policemen in social medias in order to incite violence against me. So make clear to all of you in all parts of the world, if something happened to me, and blame the police, the corrupt and violent police in Brazil, their supporters, and especially the President Jair Bolsonaro, who also support this kind of harassment, not only against cartoonists in Brazil, but also journalists. We have many journalists in Brazil facing cartoonists. So I would like to make this statement here. Another thing I would like to highlight is how some journalists are being targeted in places like Egypt or Turkey. For example, Musa Kart is a political cartoonist in Turkey, and he was arrested due to the allegations of defamation or, of offending authorities, offending the figure of Recep Tayyip Erdogan. And in Egypt, you have the same laws against people who supposedly are offending officials, offending representation about an attempt of censorship. And I used to say, a strong journalism and a strong political cartooning, it means you have a strong democracy. You cannot have a strong democracy without political cartoonists. And now you have many journalists and even cartoonists being arrested in Turkey, for example. and even in Egypt, and also in Palestine. And also in Palestine, we cannot say there is a democracy there, even though Israel presents itself as the only democracy in the whole Middle East. But in fact, this democracy don't apply to Palestinians. You have many, in the case of Palestinians, all kind of people are being arrested, even children, you know. So to be not only a journalist but and a cartoonist in Palestine, but be Palestinian is very difficult because you can be arrested for nothing, you know. So it's very interesting because when you decide to denounce, to expose this kind of violence, this kind of human rights violations in West Bank and Gaza against Palestinians, you are labeled as an anti-Semite. This is another strategy in order to silence criticism towards Israel. This is very well known. And even now, this is official in the United States. The Trump administration ruled that BDS campaigns are anti-Semitism. They make this official in order to please Israel. So I think, for me as a political cartoonist, this is the only case when you are defending human rights, you are accused of being an anti-Semite, promoting hate speech. So every time I make a cartoon exposing the human rights violations against Palestinians in the Israeli apartheid, I'm calling anti-Semite. Even organizations like Amnesty International and Human Rights Watch are being labeled as anti-Semitism, anti-Semites, because they are denouncing the human rights violations in West Bank and in Gaza. And my advice for people is not to put your head down. You cannot step back. You need to fight back. We cannot accept this kind of dirty strategy in order to censor human rights activists, cartoonists, journalists. We cannot accept this kind of label of anti-Semitism because this is a manipulation of anti-Semitism in order to attend a political agenda of Israel. So we need to show courage to face this kind of situation. And at last, for the end, I would like to pay a tribute, to Imad Hajjaj, a political cartoonist in Jordan who was jailed for making a cartoon about the normalization with Israel. So even if you make a cartoon criticizing this process of normalization of Israel with the Arab countries, you suffer the consequences. So I would like to pay a tribute to Musa Kart, to Imad Hajjaj, to all political cartoonists all around the Arab world, in Brazil, all around, everywhere, and the journalists, the investigative journalists, because as I say, if you intend to have a strong democracy, we need to have a strong journalism, investigative journalism. So thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to talk. Wish you all the best. Please stay safe. And I hope we may all survive to COVID-19. And in my personal case, I hope I may survive to the COVID-19 and the Bolsonaro government. Thank you very much.
نتمنى لك السلامة والأمن.
We wish you safety and health, and that you will not
جيداً
be
في هذا
touched by any
الكثير منهم
bad deed. Many
مستعارة
journalists
دول عربية
had to publish in fake names in Arab words, because if they published in their own names,
جسدية
they will be harmed
لهم
physically or arrested or
من أكثر
threatened.
التي
So
أغلقت
and
حدودها
this year had
جدت
witnessed
أن
the most,
صحفية أو
where
صحفي
there were lots
كان
of
هناك الكثير
borders and
من
where
النشر
journalists were locked in their own countries, and there
على
so many had to
التعليقات
publish in anonymous
يتمنون
names, and
ويفخرون جداً
many all wish you
يصلها
well
بدون
and value
لأن
your
الرسم
caricature
على كل
drawings,
المضامين
because caricature just exceeds all types
الجزيرة
of
لك كارلوس
journalism, so
من
and
البرازيل.
surpasses them. So thank you
الآن
very much,
نبدأ
Carlos Latouf, for your contribution. And now we start with
82
awards,
صحفي
and
بانتظار
more than
إعلان الجوائز.
287 journalists are awaiting
هو مشروع عيون
the
شراكة بين
announcement of
حبر
awards. The first project
ما
would be
تكون معنا
participation between Hiber and
العزيزة لتحدثنا
the Dutch
الذي استمر
embassy. And Lina
وتعلن
Gelat will be with us to tell us
التي
about the
ينتظرها
project that has been going on
الصحفيات
for
في
the
الأردن.
past 2 years,
ميكروفون
and to
معك
announce
لي.
the awards that
شكراً.
journalists in Jordan were waiting for. Thank you, Rawan. Thank you very much. I'm very happy to be with you in this very important event, this closing ceremony.
وزمالة
Are you in a project for
الشباب
local
والشابات
journalists?
في
Has
المملكة
been joined by many
20
young
منهم تدريبية على
males and
مختلفة.
females. They've got some trainings on different journalist skills, and
نشرنا
they've
خلال أقل من سنة 43
their own reports, and we've published
يمكن
more than
متوقع إنه كان
43 reports, and maybe we
مختلفة
thought that the pandemic might have
عملية
had
من
the
أجل
biggest
اختيار
share of them. Evaluation wasn't
معايير
an easy
كانت
process for
نقاط
these three,
القصة
and the
بقضية
standards, how much the story was
صعوبة
linked to the quality of research, the accountability,
الأفكار
the in-depth
والكتاب
addressing of the topic,
كان في
the
تميز
sequential ideas.
آسف جدا على المقاطعة، هو بس في من خيارات الترجمة ممكن نختار اللغة العربية أستاذة دينا عشان في ناس كتيرة مش سامعة.
اوكي سوري اوكي شكرا
أنا آسف.
لا أبدا أنا اللي متأسفة. اوكي بس راح أكمل. فبس كنت عم بقول إنه كان في تقارير جدا في بعض المعايير بس لم تحقق أحيانا بسبب طبيعة يمكن هذا الإشي اللي خلى عملية التقييم مش
maybe did not surface because of the type of or the nature of the story. Before announcing the winners, I would like to thank our partners Arish network who really were with us in the many workshops that they've given, and I would like to thank Rana Sabbagh, the former founder of the former director of Arish, and I thank I would like to thank them, the committee of we have Lamis Andoli, and she was a political analyst. She's a writer with Jordanian and Arab newspapers and many others. She's a lecturer in Harvard and Berkeley and others, and the Arab newspaper. And also Muhammad Ifdelat, he's a well-known journalist, and he's worked in many news agencies, mainly the Safir newspaper, and a correspondent for Al Arabi Al Jadid newspaper. He's concerned about refugees and marginalized persons. Also Omar Assaf, who's also a well-known figure in journalism, trainer in many Arab countries, and was a delegate for many over 23 years, and was also a correspondent in Al Jazeera and and of course in the Jordanian observatory newspaper. So the idea was about that to giving the awards to 5 best reports. But when we in the evaluating committee, we found that there were 7 reports that got the first 5 awards. So we thought to give the 3 awards for the first 3 winners. So I will start announcing them. So we in the third is journalist as Harith Atrous, and third and fourth position reports the suffering of Jordan Valley farmers, and the other about the drivers of the yellow cab and how they were affected by the pandemic. I would like here to ask, Harith is the youngest among all participants. He was 21 years old when he started with us. Mabruk, Hazem, congratulations. Second rank is about 2 very important reports about the suffering of workers in the textile aspect. One was produced during the pandemic, and the second one was after. And that's how this category was the most fragile and were most affected and impacted, and they were subject to violations. So they were very important reports that were produced by Ahmed Menkawi, and he's getting the second rank. And congratulations. And the first award goes to the who had 5 reports. The fourth about the taxi drivers, and then the report that got the first award was titled traveling or getting away with or running away to the priorities, and this is where it is the priorities of the support despite the difficult economic circumstances. Mahmoud Ashrawi, journalist, and Rawan, please, let's please listen for a word.
محمود معنا أظن شفتهم بلا.
Mahmoud, let's listen to him.
إشارة عشان يقدروا الزملاء يلاقوك لأنه
can you say word? Can you just give us a sign that you're
لازم
there?
الزملاء لياء
إذا ممكن خاصية رفع اليد أو
ممكن ترفع إيدك يا محمود لأنه مش
can you
هيعرف
raise your
يلاقوك.
hand, please?
مساء الخير.
Raise hand.
مبروك محمود.
مبروك
Okay.
لحارث وأحمد ولمحمود.
Mahmoud,
تفضل يا
مبروك,
محمود.
congratulations. في هيك مواقف صراحة ما
well, first of all,
شكرا
I'm really
على هاي
baffled. I
الفرصة
don't know what to
العظيمة.
say. Thank you, Arish. Thanks for this great opportunity. Through which I was able to connect with people I never thought I would ever communicate with or be in touch with. The 3 stories that I've worked on and others along with the colleagues that have targeted to connect people with and to relay the suffering of people from different marginalized areas and vulnerable people. So actually this award is honoring me and honoring you as well, and an appreciation to all of us. Thank you very much.
يعني الورشات العملية التي
and even the practical workshops that we've really benefited from will had a very big impact on my heart is beating differently. I feel I have a great feeling, and thank you very much. Thank you for all the opportunities. Thank you very much.
وكمان يعني بحب عن جد هن كل الصحفيين والمشاركين زي ما حكيت هيك كانت متقاربة جدا. بحب أحكي يمكن بس إنه أنا بشعر إنه إحنا الفائزين الأكبر في هذا المشروع، لأنه عن جد يعني صحفيين نتطلع للعمل معهم لإلكم
prominent journalists. So thank you very much, and thanks for all the audience.
عشان الوقت. سوري.
ألف مبروك وفي الشات في جميع
Okay,
التقارير
thank you very much. And I think
موجودين على
there are reports in the
لازم
chat.
تقراوها وهي
I urge you to read them, so please do read them, and you have all the links.
في CFI
And know that there's another award
بيننا وبينهم
by
قاعات
CFI
حقيقية
and
الأعمال.
that we have with the
then
French
هذه
embassy. They have managed to
عضو
intersect in our work. This
جوائز
award
CFI.
is
أيضاً عضو
with
لجنة
the head of the Ariege committee and our friend
يعرف
Hakim Bisan. Everyone would like to listen to you. What is the thank you, Rawan, and thank you. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to thank CFI, the French agency who have given me the opportunity to announce the first winner in this award. And I was there in an arbitration committee along with other colleagues. Allow me to also introduce them. I hope they're with us or they can hear us. Soha Stibani, she's chief editor of Arab News, and she's and she is a specialist in Mediapart, and also Ghassal Luzza, she's an investigative journalist. She's specialized in health issues in Mediapart. In the previous months, in 2020, CFI has supported through the Media Lab investigations, investigative journalism in Arab region related to health issues. And this autumn, and despite all the difficulties that have was encountered by the journalist production, especially the investigative part of it, journalists were able to publish their investigative reports, and 6 of them were shortlisted. The topics were different, and they were getting to healthcare in rural areas or in Tunisia, or things to do with the date production in Egypt, and other local issues that have a bigger dimension in the society. After working and the consultations with the arbitration committee and taking into consideration the standards that we've set, and the accuracy of resources, the data, the recency of the topic, how recent it is, or is it being dealt with previously, we came to a decision to give this, to award this prize, which is of the 2,000 euros, in the value of 2,000 euros, to the Iraqi journalist colleague Asad Zalzali about his investigative report about a flu shot has made him lose his sight. Ambiguous pharmacist. It was supervised by the colleague, Tunisian colleague Hanan. And so congratulations to all, and congratulations to all of us. The more there is real investigation and good journalism, the more we promote and we touch lives. Thank you very much, Bisan. And Asad, if you were with us here, you can raise your hand just to say a word. Asad Zalzali, are you with us? You can raise your hand if you are.
موجود يا أسعد؟
سامعيني الآن؟
تفضل.
We hear you. Yes. Hello. Yeah, we hear you. I'm very happy to be with you. And 6 years ago, I've started with Ariege, and that was the first lecture I had with Rana Sabbagh and Yusri Fouda. And Rana told me then, and it was the first lecture, said the investigative journalist is someone who defends a case. So up till now, I've got many awards, but I still feel myself that I'm still a student, and I'm proud to be one of Arisians, and that I'm close to it, and I'm so proud to see this big audience with Arisian. I'm very happy to see that many the young generation is with us, and there's also a placement of women in this forum. So I'm very happy. That's wonderful. I thank CFI for what they presented. They were difficult days during the pandemic, but I'm grateful for, and I wish all the young journalists well to continue their path and to continue their communication with Arij and to stick to it along with other partner organizations like CFI and the wonderful supervisor, the supervisor from, so that was the first time to see a female supervisor, to see. She really benefited me a lot, and she presented a lot, and it was the different work. So I salute all, and I salute Arij family and the CFI, and we hope the generations will continue to benefit and investigative journalism will go forward. And thank you very much, Rawan, and all. Thank you, Asad, and we're very happy that Hanan is an Arisian, and Arij plows and everything in the Arab world, and now we come to the prizes of Arij. With the prizes of Arab journalism. I think we're going to go over time, but we won't take longer in the suspense of announcing the prizes. Who would like to leave, but we will continue and take 24 minutes. The 10 nominees of Arij's prizes for Arab investigative journalism. It's in its 11th year. We will watch a small, short video of 2 minutes. Who are the 10 nominees
مسابقة أريج لهذا العام؟ نشاهد سويا.
To the final stage in this year's ceremony.
إذن جوائز أريج
So Arij's awards for investigative journalism for the year 2020. Actually, there was more than 200 nominees. And after then they were shortlisted to 50 investigative journalism reports that were studied by Mustafa Khalili from BBC, Arab BBC in London, and in the partnership of Ghassan Shahabi, the trainer and supervisor that work with, who's been working with Arish for long years from Bahrain, and the members of editorials, Ghassan Al-Khatib, Huda Osman, and Bisan Al-Sheikh. And we've chosen in Arish this year that the editorial committee have supervisors from outside from outside Arish in order to guarantee that the Arishian level in the methodology and study and on the world level or international level in the arbitrary team. We thank Huda, Munir, Bisan, and Ghassan, and we leave the floor to Mr. Ghassan Shahabi to tell us more in brief about what the arbitrary committee has come up to this year. Please unmute. Colleagues, good evening and welcome to you all. And good evening to you all. I was asked to say this word about the arbitrary team. I wasn't heading it. Mr. Mustafa was heading it, but we could not say no, even if Rawan said so, because I was always based in such a night. And feel sorry for those who say this word and deliver the speech, because usually the participants who make it to the end or to the last shortlisted, they want them to speak in short. So that's why I feel with you. I know what it means. First of all, after we've met the arbitrary committee through Rawan, I would like to thank this committee who was working together and who have discussed the investigations, the 47 investigative reports with all professionalism and all power expertise that they had in order to be able to shortlist them. And we've agreed on some points, we've disagreed on others, but at the end we came to the best. This year Arish was based on 3 main standards. They were the authenticity of the idea, the good language, the terminologies, the promotion of it, the enhancement or the support of evidence, the coherence of the climax, and to the way the investigative report was presented. And we've discussed it electronically and in the reports, and we came up to some points. And I would like to thank the colleague Muna Darraj for her logistics support constantly. And what we've came up with that were very important reports that were, and we've touched on that the humanitarian aspect in these stories. So the committee sees that despite that there are many journalist awards on many levels, Arish, this was different because it recognizes and values the work of a journalism in this part of the world, the Arab language journalism, and especially this type of journalism, investigative journalism. We thank Arish extensively for their vital contribution to tens or hundreds of journalists to come up with these stories in this region and to turn heads to them and try to make an impact for a change in the situation. The arduous work that you've all endured and the risks that you were subject to is an evidence of your courage and your loyalty for your work, and to holding accountability those who hide behind their impunity. And at many cases, this confrontation it could count that the journalists should get enough support from media agencies. We were bewildered by some of these stories that were in hundreds of that were covered throughout the many years that touched the lives of marginalized and vulnerables, and that have made also journalists are still in conflict zones and show big courage in coming up with these reports within Syria, Iraq, or Yemen, and also also to challenge the very difficult and strong regimes they're in. So from Arish came up the brightest stories and the most touching stories. They are truthful stories that are very professional and that express their environments the best way. Before I conclude, I would like to also note, along with the committee, that the visual impact had was seen, and also so we call the committee besides the narrative and besides the accuracy and the evidence, also to make sure that to give more attention to the visual impact in the reports. And again, before concluding, investigators who were shortlisted and the winners were about of a collective work that was in harmony from the journalist, the supervisor, and the Arish supervising team. And again, I would like to say the first prize will go to this is now Mr. Ghassan who will win the golden prize, golden, bronze, silver, and the best award for the best journalist report of Corona. But it has agreed to give us an additional prize that is different, and this special award will go to the journalist. Will present the video to learn who he is, and then we'll ask him if he can talk to us in 30 seconds. Who is this journalist? Let's watch.
رمضان حسن، وتحقيق إيقاف دولي حصل على إشادة خاصة من لجنة
It's about that called from his report got a special recognition from the committee. Ramadan Hassan. Are you with us, Ramadan?
ألف مبروك، ألف مبروك على إشادة خاصة من
Congratulations for this report. Have you expected it? No. Thank you. And I thank Arish for giving me this opportunity and giving others. And I would like to thank the team who were with me in this report, Ali Al-Mahdi and others. So his report was about special commendations, and Ms. Ala, Mr. Ala, I thank all, and Abdul Bawab and all. Thank you very much for giving me this chance, Arid, and I thank you for giving me this prize on my special report, special commendation. Ahmed Atib, with you? He was one of those conspirators with us. And now you have the Arish award and certificate, and this year we give this award to Arishians and other than Arishians in investigative journalism. Now we don't see you, your camera has gone, but where's your certificate? Here it is. Okay, and we thank Ahmad for this nice conspiracy he's done with us in order for you to receive your certificate. Thank you very much. Okay, and now it's the bronze prize for this year, where the arbitrary committee decided that it would go in half between two journalists. The first John's award would go to
هذه الجائزة.
This special award related to Corona is from Arij about the best investigation of Corona. Muhammad from Yemen, are you with us?
ممكن نستعمل كل الإيموجيز حتى نبارك لزملائنا.
And we can use all images just to congratulate our colleagues. Are you with us, Hassani?
اعمل ريز هاند لأنه مش هيعرف. ألف مبروك حصولك على جائزة أريج في هذا العام حول تحقيق كورونا. تفضل.
والله ربما تخونني العبارات الآن على هذا.
I do not find the words to express my feelings now. I wish to thank all of the team who supported me and the aid I received from Arij through Rawan and Ms. Huda Uthman and Mr. Muhammad Kamani, who helped us in the investigation. I also wish to give this appreciation to my big family at Arij and to my small family, my parents, my wife, and my son Karam, and to my colleagues who helped me, to Najm, to everybody. It is very difficult to mention everybody, but it is a great joy. Congratulations. We are proud of you. The investigation is beautiful. You will find it on our site. If you did not see the report, you have to see it about escaping quarantines, and it is available in Arabic and in English. We come to the other shared bronze gift. Where will it go?
هذه المرة إلى تحقيق تلفزيون.
To a TV investigation death license from Mauritania by Abu Bakr Salim. Abu Bakr, I hope you are here.
تفضل.
Please.
مرحبا روان، مرحبا بالجميع.
Greetings to you, Rawan, to everybody.
زميلي السالك يبدو أنه كانت هناك يعني مفاجأة جدا. زميلي السالك.
It is a big surprise from my colleague Asala, and he delivered this to me. He also helped me and surprised me with this award. I wish to thank you, thank Arij and everybody, and we hope that in the future we will do more.
وتحقيقك الجميل أبو بكر سالم.
Your investigation is impressive. Please show us the decoration you received so we can see it. It was a couplet with another Arijian member to deliver you the decoration.
أنا كنت معه أول أمس ولاحظت أن هناك يعني أحد ما اتصل عليه.
So the day before yesterday, I noticed he received a phone call and he said there is a message from Jordan, but we were busy with the covering of the elections of the Journalist Union, and he left me and went. But I was too tired to follow up on this message. Now He told me and he delivered this to me. It was a complot with you. He was on Arija's podium 2 years ago, and he also received an award in our conference. And it means that you kept this investigate. You did not use your sense of investigation to uncover his cover. So it seems that our invite to you was very good. I invite you to watch the Death License. It's an 8-minute video, and it was on Al Jazeera Net a few months ago. The bronze decoration will be shared by Abu Bakr Salim and
وائل شرحة
about his distinguished report that led to the release of over 2,000 prisoners after this investigation in Yemen. Congratulations for your bronze decoration. Wa'il Sharha. Greetings, Ms. Rawan. Thank you very much. It is a great pleasure for me, and I wish to thank Arija's team under your leadership and the leadership of Mr. Munir, with help of Ms. Saada Hattar and Khalid Al-Hatouri. Without your help, this investigation would not have become a reality and would not have reached the media. Thank you very much to all of you. Congratulations, and your gift is on the way. You will receive it. Unfortunately, it's not easy to have DHL and planes get to Yemen, but it's on the way. So keep it and send us a picture with your gift. And we look forward to your distinguished 2021 investigations as well. Thank you very much. Now we've come to the Silver Award. I will give the floor to my friend, the member of Arija's editors team and jury from New York, Huda Othman. The Silver Award, is it going to be given to anybody? No, I think we should conclude here, says Huda. Thank you, Rawan. I'm happy to hand the Silver Award, and I will say the Silver Award goes to, and then
مبروك يا محمود الجائزة.
Congratulations, Mahmoud. The Silver Award goes to Mahmoud Al-Waqi for his investigation, the weapons power, in which he disclosed the transportation of Turkish and other weapons into Libya in spite of the UN ban. Thank you. I wish to thank the jury. I wish to thank the crew who helped me prepare this report, Yahya Muhammad Hamani and Mr. Malini and Ms. Rawan. Thank you very much to all of you. It was a great surprise. Osama came here and he didn't tell me anything. Thank you very much. So it's good you received it. I could not even tell that he was coming with this. Thank you. Congratulations, Mahmoud. Your investigation shows and reasserts the importance of open source investigations. We find an increased attention and passion in building the capacity in this area. And there was a great interest in the sessions we organized on how to use open source. So you encourage other colleagues to use these open sources. I received the necessary training on open sources and it was delivered. Mahmoud said that he benefited from this. Osama Deeb is an important Arijian, so he must be able to hide the fact that he was coming with your gift. Congratulations, Mahmoud Al-Waqi. The gold award, the most important award for 2020, will be announced by the editor-in-chief of Arish, Munir Al-Khatib, please. Good evening. I also don't find the words. Usually there are a lot of emotions in this ceremony, positive emotions. It is difficult. This year was difficult, and it is the first time we have a real joy. And these awards, I hope they leave a good impact upon their recipients. As Mr. Ghassan said, all of the applicants deserved the awards because under this very difficult year with the pandemic, they made tremendous efforts. From my heart, I wish to congratulate them all. The jury was unanimous about the first award.
على أريج وهيك رفع مستوى المهنية ومستوى والمعايير الصحفية رفعوا كتير، وبتمنى كل الزملاء يقدروا يقدموا تحقيقات بهالمستوى، وكمان ما رح خالف القاعدة. الجائزة الأولى تذهب إلى لم تكن مقامرة إطلاقاً.
It was not a gamble at all. It was an investigation that was well studied and well targeted.
مساء الخير
Good evening. I'm very happy to be with you tonight. Thank you very much for this award. It was a great surprise. When I received it, as we were watching, and she insisted that we come down, it's 2 degrees Celsius. She said, I don't want you to watch the farm alone, and you saw it's freezing out here. So I was surprised now as you're announcing that I received this award. Thank you very much for this important award. The investigation was conducted under very difficult circumstances. I wish to thank my colleague Amir and the other members of the team. I also wish to thank the investigation team in Via Arabi and Planner Cox and my colleague Nader Mamdouh, Rosie and Jasmine, and our director Mustafa Al-Khalili. It was a team working around the clock with the same spirit. We covered all tiny details. I learned many things. During the pandemic, we focused on the possibility of generating ideas that can help. The idea was difficult. It came in a hard time to use open sources and to follow up under restrictions on mobility and travel. But thankfully, we were able to produce such an investigation in a record time. So I wish to thank you all for the prize. I wish to thank all of my colleagues from Egypt and my friends from Arish. I wish to thank Wiam for this beautiful surprise. We also thank Wiam because she volunteered to help us hand you this gift and award. We didn't know that it was a cold temperature, but we hope that you get some warmth because of the award from Amman to London. Ahmed Ashami is from BBC Arabic, one of our strategic partners, but you will always count it as an Algerian. I'm honored to be here. It's the home in which we all grew, and we keep holding the name of Arish, and it made a big difference in every step we take in our professional career. Every advancement we make, it always has a connection to Arish. It's from and to Arish. So every time you have a role in how we shaped our career, and we are proud to be part of Arish all the time. We hope we continue this long relationship. We hope so too. With this, we conclude to connect the world. We connect the ceremony officially. So we announce the conclusion of the ceremony and the closing ceremony of Arige's 13th forum and its first digital forum. We wish to thank the interpreters. Thank you very much for your efforts. For interpretation from Arabic into English, our dear guests, you may also leave. Those who wish to congratulate their friends and talk to them, we are going to stay on the Zoom connection, so anybody can leave, but if you wish to continue the chat, you can. Thank you, Rimatas. Thank you to Her Excellency, Madam the Ambassador. Thank you to Dr. Yasmin Dabous. We miss you. Thank you for your participation. We thank the jury. Thank you very much. We conclude and we start our unofficial chat. Thank you.